We're still looking at object-oriented programming. We're still looking at object-oriented programming, and we are still looking at if statements. So we have these three questions that we are supposed to look at as we focus on this particular course. So the first question says, write a program to ask the user to enter their age. Let the user, uh, let the program, it's supposed to say, let the program determine if the user is above 21 or not. So we have to write this particular program in Python. We have to write this particular program in Python. So remember, Python is a very straightforward, very straightforward language. You do not need to declare um, any form of program structures like you do in Java or C++. So we're asking the user for their age. So we're really just looking for one. Um, we're just looking for one variable here. So we're just really just dealing with one variable, which is the age. So we'll declare this variable age, and then we determine the data type for the age, and then the data type for the age is int. Okay, the data type for age is int. Then we shall now process the input from the user right here by telling them to enter the age. So say enter your age. So here we'll say enter your age. Then you close the two brackets because you've opened two brackets, one for the data type and one for the input. Okay. Then here the user will enter the age, quite all right. Now you need to determine if the user is above 18 or not, or 21 rather. Okay. So here you have to construct an if statement. Okay. You have to construct an if statement. Okay. You have to construct an if statement. So we'll write this if statement. So we have to determine first if the age is above 21 by simply saying if age is above 21, then you put your full colon there. You put your full colon. You put your full colon. Then you're going to say print. You put your print statement there and say age is above 21, right? Okay. Or you will say you are above 21. Now, suppose the user is not above 21. Suppose the user is not above 21. Suppose the user is not above 21. So here you introduce an else statement in which you shall say print you're not above 21. Print you are not above 21. You are not above 21. So this is how this program is supposed to be written to determine if the user is above 21 or not. This is how it is supposed to be written. We move on to the second question. So in the second question here, we are told to ask the user to enter the current temperature, and then if the temperature is 14 degrees and below, the program should print it is cold, and then if above 14, let the program print it is warm. Okay, let us write that program now. So we are asking the user to enter temperature. Okay, so it's temperature that we're looking for. So we'll declare that variable temperature. We'll declare that variable temperature. Okay, so we'll declare the variable temperature. And that temperature is supposed to be a float. Temperature is supposed to be a float. Then we'll tell the user to enter the current temperature. So to enter the current temperature, we'll tell the user to enter the current temperature. Okay. Then we have to determine now if the temperature is warm or cold. So we'll start if the temperature is if it is cold, right? So here we'll say if temperature is less or equals to, because it says 14 and below. So if temperature is less or equals to 14, then here we have to say print it is cold. Okay, print it is cold. Okay, what if it is not cold? We have to introduce an else statement. Okay, we have to introduce an else statement in which we say print it is warm. Okay, because obviously if the temperature is not less or equals to 14, then it is definitely the other way around. So we have to say it is warm. It is warm. So that is how the second question is supposed to be written. So remember, you can see here, I'm being very careful with the way I am arranging everything. Remember, Python is indent sensitive. Okay, Python is indent sensitive. So you can see all these things that are in one line, these are blocks. Okay, you can see else if these are in their specific lines. We take a look at the third question now. We take a look at the third question. So the third question says, write a program to ask the user to provide two floating point numbers, then let the program determine the smallest of the two numbers. So this program is supposed to ask the user to provide two floating point numbers. This program is supposed to ask the user to provide two floating point numbers. So let us declare those two floating point numbers. Let's declare the first variable, which we just name num1. And then this one is supposed to be a float. Okay. Then let us now get the input from the user by saying enter a number. Then let us declare num2 as well. Num2, which is also supposed to be a float. Then we tell the user to enter another number. Now we need to determine the smallest of these two numbers. So we'll write an if statement. So we'll test first of all if num1 is smaller than num2. So say if num1 is less than num2, introduce a full colon, you indent, then you say print num1 is smaller. Okay? Then what if num1 is not small? You have to introduce an else statement, right? You introduce an else statement. And then obviously here, if num1 is not small, then num2 is the one which is small automatically because you only have two conditions. If the first one fails, then it's the second one. So here you just say num2 is smaller. And that is the how the program for the third question was supposed to be written. So we have successfully completed writing these three programs in Python. So you can do the exercise that follows. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next lesson.